Early this morning, there was another mass killing here in KwaZulu-Natal. As you know, that Glebelands is very famous or infamous for its killings. And just recently, last year, a couple of hitmen were sentenced. But with us now is Brigadier Jay Naicker, who will tell us more about what actually happened at Glebelands this morning. Brigadier? We understand that 7 people were shot and killed this morning. Do you know what happened or what the cause of the killings are?
Yes, well, the information is very scant at this stage, but from what we can tell, according to Umlazi police, the incident took place at about 2:45 this morning. It's alleged that the 9 men who were friends were sitting in a room in one of the blocks in Glebelands. They were consuming alcohol, we are told. At this stage, all of their identities have not been confirmed. However, we are told they are between 20 and 40 years of age. So they were consuming alcohol when unknown gunmen entered and opened fire on them. Following the shooting, the suspects fled the scene. 7 of the 9 men passed away on the scene, and another 2 were taken to hospital in a very critical condition. At this stage, the motive is unknown. It's quite baffling to us, but as we speak now, detectives from our provincial organized crime unit are on the scene, probing this matter, questioning community members, looking for possible witnesses, and we are quite sure they will be able to tell us within a short space of time what really transpired.
Brigadier, as we know that this is not the first, it's not the second mass killing that we've had here in the province. Just last month, 10 family members were killed in St. Maritzburg, and just yesterday, 3 suspects were shot by police after robbing a victim of their cash yesterday. Are the police concerned about the ongoing mass killings here in the province?
Yes, we are very concerned. KZN is becoming a notorious province for mass killings and also just violent crime. As you quite correctly indicated, we have had a number of incidents, even yesterday, where police, when confronting criminals, were shot at. Fortunately, in one of the incidents, the police, during the shootout, the 3 suspects died and our police officers were not injured. With regards to the mass killings, it remains a very big concern to us. We're trying to understand why we are such a violent society where we would kill, as in this case, 7 people. They spoke about it in Bali that took place just over a month ago, where 10 family members were killed. Because it just doesn't make sense. There's no reason in the world why you would kill people so just indiscriminately, because they are, beside the fact that they're human, they have family, they have friends, they have a role to play in society, and just to kill them with a blink of an eye, it's just beyond us. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Even on our side, we are continuously engaging with communities. Because we find it a challenge. We have high density operations that are taking place across the province, and when we visit some of these areas that are notoriously high in crime, we find it's just complete lawlessness, especially with the use of alcohol. We find whilst there is a number of legal alcohol establishments or drinking establishments, the illegal ones are springing up in between them because there's just this demand for alcohol. And when people are drunk, they just obviously have no regard for the law. We see it. It's a concern for us that some of these establishments are just springing up in our neighborhoods. The one that I recently went to just surprised me, but this illegal liquor outlet just sprung up, built on the pavement, on the main road, next to a bus stop. So it just baffled me that this place is there, and communities are supporting them. Obviously, they get very upset when we go there and close them down. And even with the legal establishments, it becomes a challenge because now we have to police them. If we don't tell them you need to close by a certain hour, they just open throughout the night till the early hours of the morning. And you can imagine by the time the people leave these establishments, highly under the influence of alcohol, beside the fact that they are susceptible to becoming victims of crime, they also go back and commit crimes, especially domestic violence. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done to change this narrative that KZN is a notorious province when it comes to murders. So we're appealing to the other community leaders within these neighborhoods, especially your political leadership, your traditional leadership that is in their area, working together with CPFs to bring this to their attention, this issue of lawlessness in certain societies.
Speaking of illegal liquor outlets, we saw this morning and earlier this morning and late last night when you guys had an operation at Glebelands Hostel. A number of these illegal outlets were shut down by the deputy or the acting provincial commissioner, Makoba. But going back to the mass killings, are the police making headway in their investigations in arresting these perpetrators?
Yes, we are. These mass killings are investigated by a special section within the provincial headquarters. We call them the provincial task team. They investigate all these multiple murders, and they do make breakthroughs. Some take longer than usual, some are quick. As you mentioned, the incident in Bali, we were able to make a good breakthrough there very quickly. And actually, we were at the crime scene when information came forward of possible suspects who were close by, and police immediately operationalized that information. They came under fire. There was a shootout where one of the suspects, the main suspect, actually died, and we arrested another one. And following that, we were able to link them to the crime. So there's one suspect that's on the run still. Up to this day, we know who he is. He's on the run. It's just a matter of time before we arrest him and bring him before court. But some of the investigations take longer. And, you mentioned earlier in your opening the Glebelands 8. I mean, that investigation took us a long time. There was a lot of challenges. Firstly, with community members not coming forward for fear of their own lives. Fortunately, we managed to work with other role players and convince them. A lot of them had to go into the witness protection program. We know that they were so notorious that they even killed some of those people that were witnesses. However, this task team persevered, and fortunately they were convicted. So we have a very strong team that's investigating these cases, and as I said, breakthroughs do take place, but some of them just take time, just for a lot of reasons.
Earlier this week, the police minister, or the SABC, released the overall statistics on crime. KZN again came out first. We're the top in murder, attempted murder, and rape, and the culprits or the infamous police stations are again Inanda and KwaMashu and Umlazi. Looking at the stats, do you say that we have topped last year's numbers, or have you gone down?
Yeah, well, it was a quarterly crime release. So for the first quarter of the year, and then we did see that some of those notorious police stations, like you said, Umlazi and Inanda, for example, in certain categories of serious crimes, they did come down, but the crime levels were so high that even though they reduced, they still remained, occupying the number 1 and number 2 spots in some instances for the country. So we can see that the hard work that the police is putting in is making a difference, but we have a long way to go. So as I indicated, thank you guys for joining us during these operations, like last night. So that's going to be a norm where we are going to be embarking on these operations. Unfortunately, like we said, we went to KwaZulu-Natal last night because of the information that we got from the community in terms of the crime levels there. And then whilst we were busy there, this incident took place in the Glebelands Hostel. So it just goes to show we still have a lot of work to do.